All right, lucky for us, the President not ready as yet. He is, I'm sure in the next couple of minutes, should be on the podium about to address. But I've still got our Minister with me right now. And I said before the break that we didn't get to talk about SASSA pension payouts. So it's a big, big month ahead for the Post Office, Minister. And, I mean, we're talking in September, cash paymaster services cease operating. The Post Office takes over. There's still a long way to go. Do you really think you'll be able to handle this?
Thankfully, and we're working flat out, both SASSA and the Post Office, to ensure that at least all the cash beneficiaries, they are removed from CPS to the SASSA Post Office agreement. It's been quite exciting, but also challenging. And we're working with the citizens to really expedite the swap from the old cards to the new cards. We have gone over the glitches, initial glitches we had last month of networks, although they still come now and again, but they are not significant because we've created redundancies. We're visiting people in their localities, in their halls, in their pay points where we are doing swapping. This month, we are also piloting. We piloted 18 sites where we are piloting cash payment, where we visit the site and do cash dispensing by SAPO, working with SAPO in terms of making sure that we can learn from it so that when we take full control by end of September, we don't have any glitches in that regard.
I mean, there have been so many glitches, and I mean, glitches is, I think, a very gentle word to describe exactly what's been going on and the chaos that it's created in many people's lives. I mean, you yourself visited and I must commend you for what you did, actually. I think you went to a post office that was in Greytown, and you went in there and you saw the conditions that the people were standing in queues. They hadn't eaten, they were tired, they were thirsty, they traveled for hours. You got chairs there for the elderly and the sickly to sit on. You ensured they had food, they had refreshments, and they even had transport back home. Now, that was because you went there, but now you cannot be everywhere at the same time. How are you going to do this? I mean, this was one post office that you saw how dire the situation. In fact, you even ordered them to paint the post office because it looked awful. And that's a story for most post offices around the country. What are you going to do to fix this up?
Yeah, what we're doing, most of our post offices, we're refurbishing them. We're increasing the security. We're creating conditions along this post office for the traders to trade, and also make sure that our citizens, who are the beneficiaries, they've got some comfort. Like you said, the issue of shares. We can provide those shares, working with SASSA, and ensure that people are comfortable, because sometimes they travel long distances to come to these areas. The challenge we had in Greytown, for instance, was that the banking system had glitches. So people who were going to ATM, who were going to the shops to get their pensions, they had a problem in the first hour. Because they experienced a problem, they all flocked to the post office. And then we have to make sure that even the issue of cash is handled correctly, because criminals are also there. They've been breaking into our post office. But I'm very happy that we're working very close with our police and intelligence services to deal with these criminals. And because most of those who were planning, they were actually aborted. Because to us, it is critical that our citizens feel safe all the time. I'm very happy that the police are visible when we're paying these people. There's visible policing, which actually deter these criminals away from them. Yeah. The critical thing we want to say, there's been some concern in the rural areas that we're closing some of the pay points. The point we want to put is that not all pay points will be closed, because there'll be people who will still need our service that we go to them. So we may reduce the number, but we still go to those areas where some of the people can use the pins and ATMs can actually get their cash, because the key thing, while we're changing, the citizen mustn't suffer. While we're encouraging people to go through electronic system, but there's still significant number of those who can't do those things, which still going to need our assistance.
Minister, thank you so much. Thank you for updating us on the situation. And yeah, good luck, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done before the end of this month and then officially taking over. That's our Minister talking to us here on the program. But let's now go and hear what our President